The last two TNA pay-per-views have been rather good shows, I think you'll agree. Tonight, let's see if we can find out if TNA Genesis can make it 3 out of 3. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Marc P. Welcome to another edition of Shooting from the Horse's Mouth. As you can probably tell by the title and by what I've just said, we're going to talk about TNA Genesis. Now, as a rule, when I do a pay-per-view review, of course, because I'm not a partner anymore, I have to talk a billion miles a minute so I can fit it all in into the 10 minutes. Now, what I've decided is this time I'm going to talk at my own pace, and if this vid runs into 3 parts, then so be it. I'm sure you will appreciate that more, will you not? Because I know I will. So, we start off this show. And look at this. A 4-sided, bog-standard ring. Now, I've heard a lot of opinions about this. A lot of people have said to me, Marc P, how do you feel about them ditching the 6-sided ring? And I've got to say, my initial reaction is as straight up simple as this. Why? Why get rid of it? Why? Surely a company like TNA wants to establish itself as different from its competition being WWE. They want to showcase something different, right? So why get rid of the 6-sided ring? That is something that's different. The flip side of it, of course, is that the whole fucking internet is talking about it. Everyone in wrestling is talking about it. It's a talking point. It's got people talking. Of course, the fans in the Impact Zone absolutely hated it and started chanting, "We want 6 sides," pretty much from the moment that Hogan and Bischoff got into the ring. Now, Hogan was an interesting case in point tonight. Hogan is meant to be a babyface at the moment. He is meant to be a face guy. I just don't understand why. He's dressed in the all black. He's great. You even got the stupid fake fucking beard from the proper Hollywood Hogan days, yeah? Excuse me. How can a babyface be aligned with someone like Bischoff, who's going around, being a heel? I mean, Bischoff is a natural heel. You don't want to like him. You want to hate on him. He does it brilliantly. I've always said the best general manager that WWE ever had was Eric Bischoff. He was brilliant in that role. He's playing a heel on screen. And Hogan is maybe playing a babyface, but it's just not working. Like I say, the fans, they start chanting, "We want 6 sides, we want 6 sides." The volume gets louder and louder and louder. I really hope that Dixie Carter is watching it going, "Oh shit." The best part about this whole segment is Hogan gets fucking vexed. He really does get vexed. And he breaks character. And basically, he tells the fans to stick it. If you don't like it, tough. This is the same guy who's saying we're going to do things that the fans want. The fans are clearly sending a message to TNA saying that we're happy with the 6-sided ring. We want the 6-sided ring to stay. That was funny. I also think the X Division will suffer because of the lack of the 6-sided ring. The X Division needs something like that. It's going to be very, very interesting. Another point before we get on with the actual pay-per-view, many things, is that Hogan disses, right? Hogan disses sports entertainment. He basically it's like he's trying to get a cheap pop, yeah? Because he disses Vince McMahon and he disses sports entertainment, who says we are wrestling, that sort of thing, yeah? On the 4th of January Impact, Hulk Hogan said, "We're going to make TNA the #1 sports entertainment company in the world." His exact words. Go back and check if you don't believe me. Speaking of the 4th of January Impact, that show, of course, did nothing at all to set up, the Genesis show. So they had 1 episode of Impact to set it up. So it was never going to be the greatest of shows, in my opinion. This one, was it not? One more thing before we go on. And that is, of course, we all expected 3D versus the Nasty Boys to happen, and it didn't. And I, for one, am a very, 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 very happy chappy because that match didn't take place. Oh, yes. Let's get on with the show, shall we? So, in the opening contest. Incidentally, actually, can I just say one more thing? I'm sorry, before I go on. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Of the 6 matches that I predicted, I went 4 and 2. That's not bad, is it? Anyway, one of the ones that I didn't predict was the Amazing Red versus a mystery opponent. The mystery opponent turned out to be Brian Kendrick, who came out to really weird music, and his entrance was really, really strange. Anyway, speaking of entrance, as well as having the 4-sided ring, there is an entrance ramp, a la WCW. So let's get this straight. The world out there who doesn't like TNA, everyone in the world who doesn't like TNA, myself included, is saying that TNA is rapidly becoming WCW in the early 90s or in the late 90s, and lo and behold, here's another thing, a new set to make it look even more like WCW. Interesting development there, TNA. Anyway, Brian Kendrick comes out. Matches for the X Division title. 2.5-star match. Kendrick works a very grounded style, which I've got to be honest, I didn't like. Because I'm seeing 2 guys who are high-flying. Brian Kendrick hasn't been seen on a mainstream show since he was released from WWE as the Brian Kendrick. We wanted to see him put on an absolute exhibition with Red, high-flying the works, and it just didn't happen. The crowd are very, very quiet. This one, I've got to say this one as well. Excuse me, Amazing Red. Excuse me, not working as X Division champion. He really, really isn't. That guy needs to drop the belt soon. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that he's had a 3-month title reign, which for an X Division, I'm pretty certain it's got to be up there with a record, hasn't it? But that guy needs to drop the championship. In my opinion, the code red gets the win. Incidentally, Amazing Red, though, to his credit, in this one, he got, Kendrick worked over the knee using the ground attack, Amazing Red sold the knee for the entire match, that got big props for me. That probably got it the extra 0.5-star. Then we saw Hall and Nash and X-Pac in the back, and I don't care if he's 6-pack or what, he's X-Pac in my eyes, and X-Pac still sucks. Alright, fuck it. Hall, Nash and 6-pack are in the back. They do a promo where, yes, Hall and Pac do rock, paper, scissor to see who will team up with Nash to face Beer Money. Oh yes. How fucking weak is that? I can't believe this was on a pay-per-view. Seriously considered turning it off at that point. Then, Sean Morley defeated Daniels in a piss-poor match, right? What is Morley doing? Why is Morley doing that? I've got a lot of notes on this one. Most of them aren't about the match, to be honest. Why is Morley doing the Val Venus gimmick again? I mean, he's doing it identical to the early Val Venus gimmick from 1998 with the, I didn't see Impact, but what I've been told, he's doing the vignettes, the videos again. Now, this guy has been a jobber for so many years. How the fuck are we meant to take him seriously, right? But then, he fucking wins. You're just like, my fucking God. I've got to say, honest to God, this isn't a knock on someone like Sean Morley. I've always thought he's a talented in-ring worker. The problem is, he hasn't been over for years, probably close to a decade now, he hasn't been over. I mentioned on my predictions vid, remember what I said? In the year 2000, he was working as a heel, he had Trish Stratus as his manager, and no one cared. Even when he was the Intercontinental Champion, no one gave a shit. It's the fact. Oh, yes. Daniels must feel like he, I don't know how Daniels must feel. I said on my predictions bit, didn't I? Daniels on the last pay-per-view was working in the main event. Now he's in the second match on the card, losing to Sean Morley. I'd be gutted if I was Daniels. I really, really would. Speaking of Daniels, his pants, his tights in this one, blue, don't work at all. He also has his shoulder taped up, which was interesting. Crowd, again, completely dead. Fucking hell, UBW crowd's louder than the TNA fans tonight. We only have 10 people watching. Couldn't believe how quiet they were for this one again. Money Shot wins. Money Shot, gets the win for Morley. Wrong person winning, in my opinion. I don't think anyone would disagree with that one. Next, Tara defeated ODB in a 4 out of 3 falls match to win the Knockouts Championship. My prediction was completely wrong because I said it'd be stupid for them to change the belt twice in a month. How wrong I was. When was the last time you can remember a 2 out of 3 falls match going 2 straight falls? And I don't mean the second and the third fall. What I mean is the first and second falls. Let me know down here if you would, because I've done some thinking, and I could be very wrong on this one, but from the mainstream companies, the last time I remember this happening was Insurrection 2001 over here in England, when Chris Benoit beat Kurt Angle 2-0, 2 straight falls. If you can think of one that's happened since then, let me know. But the point of a 2 out of 3 falls match, I'm certain of it. Everyone knows that wrestler A wins 1 fall, wrestler B wins the second fall, so they go into the third fall. That's just how they always go. You always know that's going to happen. This one, and the other thing is, I've always believed that if it's 2 out of 3 falls, if the person wins 2 straight falls, what's the point in it being 2 out of 3? Why don't you just have a standard singles match? I don't like this match. I don't like North American women's wrestling apart from Shimmer. Everyone knows that. If you don't like it, seriously, go and watch some Japanese women's wrestling and then come back to me and say, yeah, North American wrestling's better. Because it's not. It really isn't. The only exception is Shimmer. The only exception is Shimmer. They are a great women's fed. Other than that, if you want to watch women's wrestling, go and watch Japanese stuff, because I just don't have time for the knockouts and I don't have time for the divas. End of.